Bob, did we turn off the air conditioner again? The room's partially mounted.
Yeah, I saw that. But
Yeah.
I think it's the effects of Exarchun.
Ah.
I mean, have you ever seen a Sith Lord teaming up with a non-Euclidean being?
Only in this show, really.
I still don't understand how this relationship works.
I'd imagine it's a little bit forced.
Probably. But Exarchun has taught John Euclidean and Raman Reigns how to wield lightsabers.
Tree. And please do note, if there's language, John can probably say tree in said language.
Oh yeah, John Euclidean can say tree in any language at this point. So here's a question for you. Which Jake is the real Jake?
Oh, wait, sorry, was the question aimed at me, or?
Anybody.
I mean, I'm going to say the one on the right.
Injustice?
Yeah. Because the chin on the right looks natural. The chin on the left looks like it was augmented.
Believe it or not, you are correct.
Woo!
Injustice Jake is the true Jake. Justice Jake is somebody else that had plastic surgery to have their face replaced with the face of Justice Jake.
I mean, at least if he was in a face-off situation.
They pulled what was it, a Bruce Wayne situation from Arkham City, where somebody took pieces of other faces to make themselves look like Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Wayne is a weird superhero disguise.
Right, it's a handsome Jack situation without a mask.
Hush.
Ah, Hush was the character, yes. So, Injustice Jake, believe it or not, eventually became a member of Eclipse.
Oh, he contracted morphs?
He always had morphs. That's why he was a superhero.
Ah.
His backstory was that he was originally from Sun City, but he eventually left. And then when Sun City came to the Maelstrom, he had a reconciliation with a number of people that he left from his dark past.
You know, crossed my brain several times. What would have happened had Uth been able to contract morphs?
He wouldn't have been able to.
I'm aware because you need to be human in order or humanoid to contract it, and he's technically a monstrous humanoid.
Mm-hmm. The most that he would have been able to do is to contract the original virus, which would have augmented his DNA so that any generation that he sired going through puberty would have had the chance to trigger the morphs defect.
Ah.
Because morphs, the massive autogenic regulation failure syndrome, was originally a bioweapon attempt, which was supposed to eliminate humanity, but all it did was give people a common cold. But unknowing to them, it modified their DNA and changed their DNA. But the mutations only take place during puberty.
Fair enough.
There are some extreme cases with people going through morphs during as late as their 20s, but those are extremely rare cases, and even rarer, some bioelementals, life elementals, can actually force people to morph. But those are extremely, extremely, extremely rare. And those are very powerful bioelementals. At the same time, Catherine, you were not human. You were Fae. For the most part, the only creature type that was susceptible to morphs was humans or some kind of creature that was compatible to breeding with humans. Which is why.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I believe that would technically rule out dwarves.
Mm-hmm.
Because while the mole do exist, you need to use a lot of magic to get a mole to come into existence.
Mm-hmm. The only reason why morphs passed into the Felorians is because Felorians were able to breed with humans and eventually bring morphs into their collective, not only through breeding with humans to continue their species, crossbreeding with humans, but the sheer contamination that they were able to pick up through interactions with one codenamed Gabrielle. The reason why she wears a suit most times she interacts with people is to stop the spread of the infection. Uh-oh. Jake just got set free. But I kick out at 2.
Glory.
Work on me, my biology is complicated to say the least. My father can breed with humans, so I'll call it a 50-50 maybe. But magical DNA is exact likely to stop it. That's fair.
So, a race that breeds true to themselves, like dwarves or fae, would not be able to catch a mundane human-based disease. Mm-hmm. Dwarves would be immune to COVID.
True. Plus, it is a human genetic disorder. It was made to adapt to human DNA. And Fae do not have human DNA.
Yeah. Depending on the strain of Minotaur, depending on the fantasy, some Minotaur do have human DNA.
Because they are half human, half bulls, yes.
Yes. Actually, let's see, the Dragonlance setting Minotaurs are technically a type of orc.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So, the original race, or the first race made in the Dragonlance setting, is the Urda. The Urda eventually did the whole sin against gods. The gods went to go fuck yourself. And that's how you get the orcs, the Minotaurs, and 2 other races out of that.
Mm-hmm.
There is still a group of Urdas somewhere in the Dragonlance universe, but I can't remember where they are.
Dragonlance is interesting. I adore, but I both love and hate the Kinder at the same time.
Oh yeah, no. The Kinder as a concept are a great idea, but their execution is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
which again, the Kender are a type of dwarf.
I thought they were a type of halfling.
No, they're a type of dwarf. The Kender and gnomes in Dragonlance are both a type of dwarf.
Mm.
There's a whole mythology. When the dwarves were made by Moradin, Dragonlance version of Moradin, they were perfectly fine. However, they eventually changed and became greedy. They weren't just crafters anymore. And the ones who obsessed over gems specifically stayed dwarves. The ones who became obsessed with creating finicky little tinkery things became gnomes. And the ones who just... The greedy ones, sorry. The greedy ones who just filched everything became Kender.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yes.
But it while the race is great, it's sad that a lot of like Kinder have gotten such a bad reputation in the tabletop community.
Kender are your chaotic neutral rogue squared.
Mm-hmm.
Which is... It entirely depends on the player, but for the most part, the people most interested in picking up the chaotic neutral rogue, or the Kender, are usually the ones who specifically want to be little shits, unfortunately.
Yeah, players that their only desire is to be quote unquote that guy at the table. Looks like the Force will set you free. Pick up a victory on this one.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what the next match has in store. Tune in to the next episode to find out, folks.